So, throughout my life, I've always had very strong views on crime, particularly crime that involves aggression and intimidation, and basically harassing people that don't deserve it, i.e., law-abiding members of society, people who are minding their own business and who just want to get on with their life to live in peace and security. Um, Obviously, crime covers a very wide, broad-ranging field. So I want to talk specifically about the world of gangs, but even more specific than that, biker gangs. And this is not going to be a very in-depth video. It's going to be really just the surface. But there's a few things I want to sort of counter in terms of the narrative that is out there. Um, if you look at any documentary videos about biker gangs, um, some examples being the Bandidos, the One Percenters, the Outlaws, and there's other groups. They're some of the better known ones. There's always apologists. There's always people who say, "Oh, other people don't know jack shit about this world, and they're misunderstood." And what I find is the general argument is that the police do worse things, therefore, therefore it's okay what the bikers do. Now, first of all, before anyone gets the wrong idea about this video, I'm sure there are many decent bikers who have no involvement with crime, who are decent people who just enjoy bikes. They like the cultural aspect of bikes, the technology of it, and so on. I've no problem with that, and I am well aware that there are many biking chapters, for want of a better term, who get involved in charity work, who do good work, and they help raise funds for cancer patients and so on. I've seen those videos as well, but a big problem I have is with the excuses that are made for those who are involved in crime, and there is no one can rationally argue that there is not a dark criminal undercurrent with the biking world. And I think any honest, law-abiding biking person will admit that. I can understand them resenting being tarred with the same brush, because anyone in any group doesn't like being tarred with the same brush as the unsavory aspects of that group. Just like peaceful Muslims don't like being tarred with the same brush as Islamists. Peaceful bikers don't like being tarred with the same brush as criminals within the biking community. But the fact is, there are criminals within the biking community, and I think it's incredibly dishonest to say that there isn't. To be quite honest, I'm even acutely aware that even by making this video, I'm kind of exposing myself. Now, I've no serious concerns of any repercussions, but what I find interesting is that the excuses that are made for these people, it's always like, well, people don't know this, and then it's usually followed by threats. So if you're trying to convince people that bikers aren't what the perception is, and you're doing that through threats, all you're doing is reiterating that stereotype, that negative stereotype. All you're doing is reiterating the thug image. As far as I'm concerned, anybody who threatens witnesses to a crime are criminals by definition. And it doesn't matter if the police are corrupt or the police are worse or whatever. Everyone is responsible for their own actions. And this bullshit anarchist, cowardly mentality, we can do what we want, we aren't responsible. Um, as far as I'm concerned, anyone who threatens witnesses, you know, people who have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, I think they're the scum of the earth. I hate gangs. I hate all gangs. I don't care whether they're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I think all gangs are scum. The only people I have any credence of sympathy for are people who really are dragged into it, at risk of their lives, or their families' lives. But for people who join gangs because they think it'll be fun or who just enjoy terrorizing society, as far as I'm concerned, they need to be behind bars. I really have strong views on this, and you know, we're living in an era where the police come under enormous scrutiny, and I've been vocal about the police at times when they've overstepped the mark. Earlier I made a video about a miscarriage of justice case and how the police behaved disgracefully in that case. So sometimes it is true the police are no better than some gangs. But in any society, you need a semblance of law and order. And I will never accept the argument that this behaviour is okay because, hey, the police might be just as bad or worse. And I don't think that really weighs up because whilst police brutality does happen, I mean, most gangs don't have internal policing. Most gangs don't control their members. They advocate violence within their members. Whereas at least when the police are involved in police brutality, okay, you might get cover-ups, but at least there is some code of conduct. Now gangs don't have that. Gangs don't give a damn who they hurt. Some gangs may claim that they have some sort of moral code, but as far as I'm concerned, like I said, anyone who threatens witnesses gets no sympathy from me. So that's why I do believe that there has to be common sense as well. You need powerful law enforcement to hold these people to account to protect the public. So the police get a lot of slack, but when I see sometimes what gangs do, what they're capable of, it's times like that I think, well, the public need to appreciate the difficulty of the job that police have, reining in on these people. It hasn't been such a major problem in Britain. It certainly plagued the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. We have had some problems here with so-called biker wars and so on. Not, I'm pleased to say, to the same extent as North America and Oceania, but you can't convince me that you are a decent person if you're following up. Oh, you misjudge me, and watch what you say. You can't follow up by complaining about a negative stereotype with a threat, because that just reiterates what that stereotype is, that you're a thug. If you want to convince people that you're not a criminal, prove it. And you don't prove it by threatening people. That's nonsensical. So I have to say, biker chapters do have a negative reputation. And what I would say, with all due respect to those bikers who are involved in charity work and so on, firstly, I would appeal to you, acknowledge that there is a problem. Acknowledge that there are biker gangs out there. I think by saying people have the wrong idea about bikers, um, you can't say that because this is part of the biking world. I think it's the responsibility of any community to recognize the negative aspects of that community. Be honest about it. And like I say, for those bikers who aren't involved in crime and do a lot of good work, I can understand them being frustrated by the negative image. But in the end of the day, there is no escaping the fact that there's a very real problem out there with organized biking chapters that do whatever the hell they want, and they don't give a damn who they hurt. It's basically anyone they don't like, they will hurt. These are people with mindset like they're in the dark ages, in European dark ages. Like there's no law, they can do what they want. And then they have the audacity to claim moral high ground? No, that just wears thin with me, and I apply the same logic to any gang. Um, Anyone that threatens innocent people, because they're witnesses or because they're doing the job as a lawyer, I have no sympathy with them. Um, and the argument the police are worse. It's just that's like it's chalk and cheese. It doesn't prove a damn thing. If you're concerned about police brutality, then campaign against it. Make videos about it. But being involved in a motorcycle chapter that is blatantly involved in thuggery and violence, don't tell me that don't tell me that you're a good guy. We live in a dangerous world, and unfortunately, in this world, there are people who just don't give a damn about other human beings, and they will hurt people for no reason, no good reason. I think the only time it is legitimate to hurt someone is if you're legitimately defending yourself or someone else. Otherwise, if you go around hurting people, you know, I think that you deserve the reputation that you get. So, in that sense, I absolutely support the police in apprehending these people. I mean, and what I actually find more disturbing than criminal behavior itself in this criminal culture is the fact there's a disturbingly large amount of people that are prepared to defend it and make excuses for it. And I wonder, is it that they're taken in by this kind of romantic notion of it? To be fair, in American history, there's always been this bizarre um, romanticizing of crime. Going way back to Bonnie and Clyde onwards, this bizarre notion that people who kill civilians are somehow folk heroes. I don't get that at all. Um, anyway, I'll leave it there. But people can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But if your problem is with outsiders getting the wrong perception, then prove outsiders wrong. You know, don't go around saying that you'll threaten anyone who doesn't agree, because someone who makes blunt threats is thuggish by definition. If I came in and made videos and said I'm going to beat up anyone who doesn't agree with me, cross me and I'll kill you or something like that, then I would have the image of a thug, and I couldn't complain about that. Now, some people might say it's not a problem because they only fight among themselves, but that isn't true. These people threaten witnesses, and they don't give a damn if innocent people are caught in the crossfire. And there have been documented examples of motorcycle gangs getting into shootouts and so on, and innocent people being in the wrong place at the wrong time, including children. That's why they are scum, because they don't give a damn who gets hurt. If they were just fighting among themselves, I wouldn't really care. As far as I'm concerned, they can kill each other off, do the world a favour. But the fact of the matter is, they don't care about hurting innocent people. That, in my book, makes them scum.